students, in this video we are going to talk about the welfare provisions which are given under the Factories Act 1948. These welfare provisions are given in Chapter 5 of the Factories Act, and the sections 42 to 50 talks about the various welfare provisions which are given for the workers who are working in the factories. So basically the first section, that is the section 42, talks about the washing facilities. Now in a factory premises, the workers should be given proper washing facilities, separate washing facilities for male and female candidates. The nature of the work often requires the workers to wear the uniform which is provided by the factory, and they are required to keep the clothes that they wear from home at a separate place, and while working in the factory often their clothes get wet. So that is why it is necessary that washing facilities should be given in order to enable them to wash their uniform, clean it properly, and then wear it on the next day. Section 43 talks about the facilities for storing and drying clothes. So obviously the workers, when they are washing their clothes, they are required to dry these clothes also. So for this purpose, a drying facility should be there. And apart from this, the clothes, the dry clothes that they wear from their home, they should be issued lockers to each and every worker so that they can keep these dry clothes in the lockers, and while leaving the factory premises in the evening, they can change their uniform, wear dry clothes, and leave for their respective homes. So section 44 talks about the facilities for sitting. So if you have been to any industrial visits, so you must have seen that at the shop floor level, the workers are often required to work in a standing position, because there are a lot of machines over there which are placed next to each other. So workers often stand in a standing posture and do their work. But at the same time, they should also be given a facility to sit, because standing for long durations would be very tiresome for the workers. So in between, they should be allowed to sit for at least 15 minutes, and then they can again resume their work. And also, if the nature of work is such that the worker can do or operate that machine in the sitting posture, in that case proper chairs or sitting items should be provided to the workers so that they can perform their duties in the sitting position. Section 45 talks about the first aid appliances. So we had already talked about in the video on the welfare and the safety provisions that it is very necessary that all the safety precautions are followed. And if in case any person meets with an injury or meets with any kind of accident during the nature of work, in that case a first aid box should be there for every 150 workers which are working in the factory premises. So as many number of workers are there, so multiples of 150, so as many first aid boxes should be there. And these first aid boxes, they should contain all the necessary first aid material which could be required or which would be needed to mend to any particular injury or in order to give any primary treatment to the workers. If there are more than 500 workers, in that case an ambulance room should be there, a dresser or compounder should be there, and a doctor should also be available so that they can treat the workers whosoever meets with an injury or meets with an accident. Section 46 talks about the canteen facility. Now since the workers come from remote locations, they are spending around 8 to 9 hours in the factory premises, so therefore a canteen facility should be there for all these workers. So if there are more than 250 workers in the canteen, in the factory premises, in that case a canteen facility should be there, which should provide wholesome and nutritious food to the workers. It should follow all the necessary provisions which are there, necessary construction guidelines, necessary furniture which should be approved as per the Factories Act. So all those facilities should be there. Section 47 talks about restroom, shelter and lunch rooms. So we all know a lot of people bring home cooked food because they may be allergic to the canteen food, or they don't find it nutritious enough, or it is not lighter on their palate, or it is not lighter on their stomach. So in that case, a proper lunchroom should be there for such workers so that they can sit there and have the lunch which they have brought from their homes. And also in these rooms there should be proper drinking water facilities also, so that after having their lunch they can have water. Apart from this, after having had their lunch, the restroom or the shelter is a place where the workers can nap for a while. They can take a power nap of 15-20 minutes. They can give rest to their body so that they are rejuvenated and then ready to go back to work again for the remaining hours which are left in the shift. Section 48 talks about the crutch facility. So wherever there are more than 30 women workers in any factory premises or in any office, there the crutch facility should be there. Children under 6 years of age can be kept in these crutch, and that crutch should be under the proper care or of a trained maid or a trained person who can take care of these children. Apart from these women workers, they should be given proper breaks in between. The mothers who are nursing mothers, they should be given nursing breaks so that they can go and feed their children and again rejoin their duties. Section 49 talks about welfare officers. So as per the provisions of this Act, that is the Factories Act 1948, wherever there are more than 500 workers in any factory premises, there a welfare officer needs to be appointed who is going to take care of the welfare needs of all the workers. If the factory has more number of female workers, in that case a female welfare officer should also be appointed. As far as the appointment of these welfare officers are concerned, so all the provisions or the state government norms or guidelines should be followed for the appointment of these persons. Section 50 talk about power to make rules. So this section enables all the people or the state governments which are there, under the purview of which all the factories are like, they can make different rules adding up to the rules which are already there. So if they want to add further welfare rules, then these can be added, and the state government are empowered to do so on their own. So I'll just quickly recap of whatever we have studied today. So this welfare provisions, this is comes under Chapter 5 of the Factories Act 1948. Section 42 to 50, there are 8 provisions which are talking about, 9 provisions related to the welfare of the workers, which includes from crutch facility, lunch, drinking water, sitting and washing facilities, so separate facilities depending on the gender of the worker should be provided. So what is the benefit of providing these facilities? Obviously, if these welfare facilities are given to the workers, the benefit that the workers are going to get is that they have a good working environment, first thing, which is going to increase their productivity, which is going to increase their efficiency. At the same time, providing separate washing facilities and cleaning facilities would ensure that the workers don't fall sick in those wet clothes. So they are able to dry those clothes, and then the sitting posture that we talked about, that is also going to help the workers in more ways than one, because the workers would not be tired, and at the same time they would enjoy working whatever they are doing. So thank you so much.